Welcome to the Four Brewers Podcast. My name is John Holzer, and as always, I am joined by
Jason Harris,
Greg Nagel,
and Tim Mather.
This week on the show, we are drinking beers from the which one is this? Like how long has the Bistro been doing this festival? This is from the Bistro IPA Festival.
Yeah,
Alpha
so
King, baby.
The Bistro is a craft beer bar in Hayward, which is Bay Area, California, and they've got kind of a. It's like if you're in the know, it's famous, so I guess not famous, but there's a pretty renowned double IPA festival that they've done for 20 years. I believe this is the 21st year of it.
Okay.
And obviously with COVID, they can't do the festival in person like they normally do. So they did a distance judging. They did professional judging at the Bistro outside in, a distance area. And then they put together a box of the beers that won and shipped it out to people. It's weird because we don't have all of the top beers, but it's like a mix of the beers in the top 5 or whatever.
We've talked often about side effects, like good side effects of what we're learning in the beer industry due to the pandemic and COVID. And I think this is a great thing. Like, imagine if they just did this every year, because you can't, it's a really exclusive kind of fest. You can't, it's this one little spot and they do it. And if they just did a thing every year where, you could buy the winners and get a box set, sent to your house, I would do that every year. That'd be amazing. Because from what I've heard, this is like one of the best IPA beer fests out there. Like if you win this festival, you're amongst the top of your peers, and it'd be cool to be able to try those beers every year without having to go to the fest.
And so they added in hazies at some point. They didn't always have hazy in there, but this year there's a separate category for the hazy boys and the clear beers. For some context, looking at last year, the double IPA winners were Kern Rivers Double Church, Revision Double IPA, and Rip Gimpier McGee.
Oh my God.
And then triple IPAs last year won Heretic, Beechwood Hops of Fury, and Ghostwood, who I haven't heard of, Clearly Dangerous. I think what they did this year is instead of double IPA and triple IPA, it's West Coast Double and Hazy Double.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's a nice mix up.
Yeah. So pretty cool that we're getting to try these, and we are doing the Hazy Boys today.
Yeah, we had a bit of confusion amongst ourselves. Like, we have the next 3 weeks worth of shows lined up, and Kyle from the chat, he gave us some beers, which we won't get into now, but we thought we were doing those beers on the show this week. But Jason reminded us that he had everything organized in a sticky in our private chat on Discord. And we were clearly wrong. So Tim's not going to be here. He's going to be here. He's here now, obviously, but he's not going to be trying the first beer because his beers are all warm.
Oh, but I might.
I mean, I would. There's nothing wrong with drinking a warm hazy.
Oh, there's everything. This is a triple. The first one we're starting with, by the way, is going to be no, it's a double. Never mind. I'm thinking of a beer.
It says triple on it, though, bro.
Oh, does it?
I mean, what's the ABV? Let's just go with that.
It's
probably 10%. So
it's a triple. Yeah, typically with triple IPAs, you want them to be as cold as possible. Our friend Joe Senegalia from Joe's Arcade he lives by that rule as well. When you're drinking a stout, room temperature. If you're drinking a triple IPA, damn near frozen. So
yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes. The rest are in the freezer, so they should.
So
I would put it on ice, honestly. Like, there's no harm in like thinning out a 10% beer a little bit.
Sacrilege, Greg. What are you talking?
Come on, man. When you get to be my age, you can break rules all you want.
White wine with ice.
I was gonna say, yeah. Are you the ice cubes in your wine person?
There's a narrator saying
sometimes I'll drink scotch with ice on the rocks, and sometimes without. Like, it's just what you're feeling that day.
Well, spirits is a different story, but
I mean, a michelada I'll have with ice on the rocks. So
I mean, they're gross at any temperature. So,
amen.
So we don't have the top 4, but we have number 1, number 2, number 4, and number 6. Weirdly, I got number 3, but not everybody did. There was like one grab bag mystery beer that everybody got. And I got one, but I don't think any of you guys did. The Humble Sea Wizard of Fog.
I'm not sure if I don't think I got that. No.
It was really good.
I ended up getting something from Sierra Nevada. Like, oh, guys, we need some more beers. Go grab a couple of 12 packs from the store and throw them in.
It's a stovepipe and torpedo they just threw in there.
We got it from 7-Eleven.
I don't remember which one it was. It was one I hadn't heard of, so at least it's not that. But I just thought that was really entertaining.
So the first beer we're starting with is the Gilman Swamp Juice.
Gilman Swamp Juice.
Oh, John's got the label up. It's got a creature from the Black Lagoon on it. I haven't heard of this brewery.
Neither have I. But I mean, they sent it out in the mix pack, so I have faith that it's going to be good. Gilman. It sounds familiar, actually. Gilman Street, but Gilman's are not. See, I'm thinking Gilman Street. That's the club.
It's in
punk rock club that shut.
It's in Berkeley, and they're in Berkeley, so that would be why.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking of when I hear Gilman. I'm thinking of Gilman Street. So
yeah, Green Day and Mount Ivy came out of that scene, right?
Yeah.
Oh, apparently this place is on Gilman Street. So there you go.
Cool. Well, I mean, it's instant built-in name recognition for people who like old school pop punk. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was going to show you that. My can has the same dent as yours, which is hilarious.
Oh yeah, mine is dented as well.
Yeah,
hey, I got it.
And then I spilled beer all over my desk trying to show you that. But
Tim's is also dented. I see. Wow.
Yeah, right about the same spot.
Maybe like the pallet fell over or something. Who knows?
Oh, God.
They just yeeted them all into the box.
This beer looks thick. It is thick with 3 C's on the end, dude.
Yeah, although
it's like latex paint.
I wouldn't say it's latex paint. It's definitely very, very
around
murky.
your glass. It's like
it
goop.
It does have a very thick texture to it. It isn't like some of these beers we get are damn near opaque, and this is not quite there. It's like letting light escape, but just barely. Again,
if you're watching the live stream, Jason's camera. Jason, Tim, and Greg all have the same camera. Well, I think Greg's using a Sony A something camera, but on my camera, it looks true to life. On the Logitech webcams, it definitely looks like a latex, a glass full of latex.
This is just John trying to flex that he's not using a webcam. He's like, all these plebes are using their Logitechs.
I got my
over here.
A7C. Look at that focus. Look at that focus. That autofocus. It's so sweet. John in 2009 would be getting a boner.
It's like you're a streamer or something.
I am a streamer.
I can
we're all streamers.
That was the point.
Once a week.
That was the point.
Fuck, we're on Twitch now.
All right,
dude.
It smells real. I mean, for being warm, like it smells real nice.
I'm interested, Tim. Does it smell boozy warm?
It's like, honestly, it's kind of got like a almost like a screwdriver sort of aroma. Like it's very citrusy, and there's like a hint. Like I don't typically get a lot of booze heat off of vodka, but like there's a tiny. Like I feel like the citrus is the biggest thing. Like I'm getting exactly like a fresh squeezed orange juice is what I'm really kind of picking off.
To use a So this beer, to use a touch point that maybe not everyone has, it reminds me a lot of Treehouse Julius.
Okay. I can see that. It's
Oh,
color
wow.
for sure.
That like
is-
thick, sweet, very orangey, like a ton. This is hashtag juice for
Yeah.
sure. Like it is super juicy. Back when that still meant hops and didn't mean just literal fucking juice now.
Yeah.
Oh god, I got from the EBF box some fucking fruit puree monstrosity. I had to pour
saw
that
that.
shit down. I had to run the disposal after. It's so fucking chunky.
That's not how you do beer. Like that's
Fuck
what
that
450
thing.
North style. Like that's not what I want.
Yeah, it was fucking trash, dude. It was like your friend bought you a Jamba Juice and then left it out and then it like melted, and that's what it tasted like. I'm like, who the fuck is this for? Someone
Not
who wants
me.
a melted Jamba Juice with booze in it, apparently. Like, can't you just go to Jamba Juice and fucking buy like a little airplane bottle of vodka?
Yeah, sure. That's all you got to do.
Like,
That's no
like,
fun though. It's fun to spend 50 or not 50, maybe $10 on a 16-ounce can of beer and with a cool cartoon label on it, and
that
goes on.
may fucking explode. Do you see the video of that guy opening one of these like fruit puree cans in his kitchen, and it just completely, like, he pointed it at the sink and just tapped the thing and it like blasted and stained the ceiling.
I
And
believe
he's
it.
pointing it down.
I believe it.
God.
But this does not have
We have
fruit puree
liftoff.
in it. This is just super orange juicy to me.
I
There
get
is a
some
lot
hints
of
strawberry as well. Like a strawberry, like Nestle's Quick almost, not like a real strawberry, but
I can kind of see that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
fake strawberry, like Nestle's Quick.
on the back, like when it kind of lingers on your palate, and I get that strawberry quick. It's a super good tasting note. Greg, I always like when you pull out some weird tasting notes sometimes, and I appreciate it.
That's my job, man.
It's literally,
I'm old Greg.
literally your job.
That's
For
literally
being
my
a
job.
10% triple IPA, the heat is pretty much non-existent on this. Mine is pretty cold, and according to Tim, is very warm, or room temperature at the least. It's not present there either. So I think that's a sign of a well-crafted triple IPA.
I am getting booze on it, but it's not as bad as you'd think for 10%. It's pretty fucking drinkable, and I've already kind of drank half, which I'm like, oh fuck.
Or show.
I skipped breakfast this morning, so
Ooh,
we're
It's,
about to be
gonna
in,
take a nap.
I feel like any of the booze that I'm getting on it is really coming afterwards. Like I feel like I got a little bit of like a hop. I guess hop burn is probably the best way to put it. Like on my tongue right now. Granted, again, I'm the outlier here with my room temp, but the first drink, it's very citrusy. It's good. It tastes like a really nice. I don't mind it right now, even at this, even not being cold. Like it's not that bad.
And like I said, that says a lot for a 10%, hazy IPA, because they can get pretty messy when you get past 10%, and for it to still hold up well at room temperature, that's pretty amazing. I will note too on the can, it says this is it says 10% ABV dash 10 pounds per barrel. I don't know if that means every dry hopping was 10 pounds per barrel of hops. That's a lot of fucking hops.
That's a ton of fucking hops.
That's almost a waste of hops. Like I would expect this to be at 10 pounds per
Alpha
barrel.
King, dude.
What were we when we did that beer with Derek? We were doing like 2, I think, and he was like, "Holy shit, that's so many hops."
I think we did 4. We did 4 pounds.
Was it 4 pounds per barrel?
Yeah, I believe it was 4 because he was no way.
It was way less than 10, but I still feel like he was just like, "You guys, this is too many fucking hops."
And again, at 10 pounds per barrel, I would expect more like actual green vegetal character from it. It could be that this has been sitting for a while. We've had these in our possession for at least like 3-4 weeks, something like that. So maybe it did have it and it mellowed out, but right now it's pretty much non-existent. This just tastes like a really good triple hazy IPA.
Yeah,
it
these
does
shipped
have
about
enough
a month ago,
bitterness.
so
It does have enough bitterness to hold up all that sweetness. The bitterness is really firm and lasts a good minute on your palate. Like
Yeah.
it keeps you wanting to drink it because there's this lingering bitterness on your palate. You're like, I want to get rid of that a little bit. Let me take another sip to get rid of that. Like,
yeah, the more I drink of this, the more I enjoy it. It just is a really fucking well-crafted beer. For a brewery that wasn't on my radar before this, it's now like I gotta look for stuff from these guys. Like this is fucking pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, going into this, I am guilty as everyone else is judging a beer by its label. I'm not the biggest fan of this label art. Like it's
looks
kind
like
of
shit.
yeah, they kind of phoned it in. I mean, it looks fine. It's a murky triple IPA. It's called Swamp Juice, so it's the creature from the Black Lagoon or whatever swamp thing. I don't know.
Although they credit an artist on there, so it's probably what they're going for. Maybe I won't dunk so hard on it.
No. I'm not saying the art is bad. I think it's what they wanted, and that's what the artist gave them. It looks like, I couldn't draw that. It looks fine, but this isn't something just by the name alone, I'd be like, this is probably going to be like a, kind of a messy, hoppy, burning in the back of my throat kind of triple IPA. Maybe I'll pass on it. But
yeah, if you saw this at the local liquor store in like the hazy walk-in or whatever, I'd strongly pass on this beer.
Yeah,
but I'm glad I
by the way
tried
it
it. And also the ABV. I'm not a hazy guy. I'm not a triple IPA guy, but this is definitely well crafted, and it's I can see why it won. It's great.
Yeah,
I can
this is a
appreciate it.
really solid beer, and this is the number 6. So in theory, we've got a lot ahead of us, a lot of good beer ahead of us.
Could be the best though. You never know.
You never know.
We're waiting for Tim to show back.
But we got North Park coming up later, so that's a hard one to beat.
It is nice that we do have the number 1 and number 2 beers as well in the hazy category. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we do not have those on the clear IPAs, which we'll be doing in a couple weeks. But worth noting too is that I think probably because of COVID, the entries are a lot more Northern California focused this year.
Mm-hmm.
Where like in years past, I know Green Cheek, I think one up there one time.
Rip,
I feel like Highland Park.
Just
Although
looking at the list that they sent with the beers as far as the entrants go, we've got, as far as local to us, Claremont Craft Ales. Let's see. Big Sexy, Buck Dog, Boneyard King.
El Segundo.
El Segundo, yeah.
Notably, El Segundo actually won a beer, and that was on the West Coast show, and we've talked enough about El Segundo. We don't need to drink Hammerland on this show.
Yeah.
So we drank it.
Yeah.
Or I drank it. I don't know about you guys.
I think it was
mine
good
as well.
Hammerland rules.
That's pretty much it.
Docent
Yeah.
down in Dana.
Oh yeah, Docent. That's the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're on the West Coast show too. We have their beer, and I'm excited to try that. That's a cool little spot. Yeah,
So
but not a ton.
Go ahead, Jace. Finish your thought.
Yeah, not a ton of non-Northern California beers. They're a little NorCal heavy, but that's okay.
So, is your beer cold enough, or are we going for another? Okay,
I pulled him out, so we'll see.
all right. That's what she said.
I pulled him out.
All right, what's on deck, gang?
Up next, we have a beer from the Hazy Boys. This is Del Cielo. No, I'm sorry. This is not from the Hazy Boys. I'm going to start over. Up next, we have a beer from Del Cielo Brewing Company called the Hazy Boys. This is another Hazy Double IPA according to our show notes. But once I pull up the link here, we're just going to make sure that's true. This is 8.3% alcohol by volume. So this is, in fact, a double IPA. And do they have any notes on this? It's made with Citra, Mosaic, and Idaho 7.
Oh, John's so excited.
Oh, no.
That was a pretty good trombone, Greg.
You could be in no effects, man.
The trumpet player lives about 4 houses down from me.
I was watching this TikTok the other day, and it's just this teenager whose mom is a little person, and he's just following her around playing a tuba while she does shit. And it's fucking ridiculous.
Okay, Greg, I'm gonna go back a second. You said NoFX's tuba play?
Trumpet player.
Well, that's El
He's
Jefe.
right
He
down the
plays
street.
everything, like as far as the wind instruments go. So El Jefe is your neighbor?
I don't know if it's El Jefe, but the original dude. I don't know if he stayed in the band for the long term, but the original trumpet player. Because
okay.
like when I moved in, he'd be playing No Doubt songs and like yeah.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Maybe it's someone else then. Because if you
I don't know
live
if he
next door to
still
El
lives there,
Jefe, I'd want to go and party at El Jefe's house because that sounds amazing.
No, you don't want to party with these people. They're the weird neighbors.
Okay, so it's not.
I think they moved out long time ago. We've lived in this house for a long time. Oh, boys.
So on
about
the
you, Bill?
as far as the competition goes, this came in number 4 in the Hazy Double IPA or Hazy IPA category, and this beer is looking very similar to the Swamp Juice, maybe a little more transparent, not as murky, not as like latexy.
I can see light through it.
Yeah, this guy's coming across more like a gold than an orange.
Yeah, this looks more pleasant to my eye than the previous beer.
Notably, too, this beer is a collab. I call that out specifically because I don't know if he listens to the show, but one of the dudes in the Something Awful Beer Discord I hang out with works at one of the breweries that is in the collab. So
it's 4 of them.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, the can, it's Del Cielo, Shadow Puppet, Imperial Beer Project, and Danville Brewing Company.
Yep. And
Wow.
I believe again, if he listens to the show, shout out Fayed Secretary working over at Shadow Puppet.
Cool.
He said he called out that he worked on this beer. So
I'm hoping this is going to be something that's more minds make something better, or rather than having too many chefs in the kitchen.
yeah,
kind of thing.
I think this beer looks great. It's got like a nice foamy head on it. It's, it is a hazy beer, but it's not a murky beer. It's not absorbing all light. It doesn't look like there's shit in it.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, my first whiff was like, "Is that diacetyl?" And then my second thought was, maybe not. I don't know. Does anybody else get the D?
I'm not
The D
pulling
is
any of that out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's too close to call. It's
I
been
don't
so
get-
long since I smelled a D beer that it's like,
No,
don't know.
I'm not getting any of that. Honestly, I think it's the
Okay.
Idaho 7. Is what you're smelling.
It's a really weird, like when you say diacetyl, it puts that in my head, and I want to. I kind of get it, but maybe it is the Idaho 7. I don't know, because it's not
There's
like
a-
a funky earth kind of thing. It is kind of candy like,
it's
which
very
kind of
candy like.
I am
leans
getting a bit of a
diacetyl.
funkiness to the hop flavor, though. Honestly, yeah, no, I don't think, especially on something that was professionally judged, I would be pretty shocked if they got in the top 3 in a competition with a
How-
diacetyl beer.
How about this? Tim's is warmer than ours.
Yep.
Do you
You'd be
get
able to pick it out
diacetyl?
of a-
Because diacetyl does manifest on under warmer temperatures.
That's one of those things that I would not know. Can you help
Diacetyl's going to be
describe?
like caramel or
Buttered
Theater
popcorn.
popcorn.
yeah.
No, I'm not getting buttered popcorn.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm-
like I said, it was the first whiff, and after I took a taste, I'm like, okay, it's just like a candy, like fruitiness. It's not theater. I mean, it was sort of smelled butterscotchy and hard candy like to me at first, but after taking a sip, it's like there's no slickness to the palate. There's, I don't know. It's not D.
I think this is a really well-made beer. It's got a pretty decent hop character to it, even though it's a hazy boy.
This kind of comes off like a hybrid of a hazy and a pastry IPA, I
Right.
guess. It's a weird beer.
I mean,
The malt profile is more pastry like, but it's very fruity. And I don't get the or not that there is diacetyl character, but I don't get a diacetyl character on the flavor. I don't think there's diacetyl in this beer. It's just a very weird beer.
It's very sugar cookie. To replay that whole.
John?
I mean,
Ooh, Greg, sugar cookies. That was very loud. Wow.
That's how we know.
do you get sugar
Greg,
cookies off
sugar
that, Tim?
cookies.
Off of which are we talking? The aroma or?
Yeah, just the aroma, like a cake, like a white cake with frosting. You know those like supermarket like soft cookies with the layer of sweet
I'm a big
shit
fan.
on them.
I get that on the nose.
A little bit.
But there is that Idaho 7 funkiness happening on the nose as well. It's not as bad. This is probably the best Idaho 7 beer I've had outside of the one we had on a previous show where it was like part of 50 other
magic.
different hops in the beer.
Yeah.
Personally, I really like this one. It feels like more of a traditional hazy IPA than the Swamp Juice, which was very, again, that one was very orange juicy, like breakfasty, almost like mimosa-y, the last beer. And this one is much more of a standard hazy IPA, but I do think the hop character manages to stay pretty bright, which is a common flaw that a lot of hazies get into. The hops are there. It is hard to pick out individual hops, which is kind of what comes with these, but
The last, like the best way that I could put on the last one was like you said like mimosa, I think. Like I kind of got like vodka orange juice sort of a feel off of it.
yeah,
Definitely
like our screwdriver kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. This one's, I mean, these were in for however long we did the show up until I pulled them out. So I don't know, 15 minutes maybe max in the freezer with the paper towel trick, and they're pretty cold. And this is like more down the aisle of like not overly thick, not overly hazy. It's like it's striking a really good balance, I think, of flavor and hop and not being overwhelming.
I think it's a good representation of where hazy IPA was, I think it's a good representation of what many breweries were going for when they didn't know anything about hazy IPA and they brewed a hazy IPA. I think this is the beer that they wanted to be the final product. And this beer, it got fourth place, like it ranked above the Swamp Juice. That says a lot.
What I like about this is that it doesn't go for that super sweetness. It doesn't go for the like super pillowy palate feel.
Right.
It is kind of West Coast influenced. I think I think it's more in that vein, but that's a good thing in my opinion. I think going towards that soft and sweet is the curse of hazy IPAs generally.
Yeah, I mean, would I rank this above the Swamp Juice? I don't think so, but that's just a matter of preference. And
they're different approaches for sure.
Right. I mean, it's nothing like the Swamp Juice. The Swamp Juice is definitely more West Coast. It's got more of a bitter edge to it. Not that it's a bitter beer, but this is more of like a pastry hazy double IPA, where the Swamp Juice was definitely more balanced with
I'm curious
with
where you
hops.
get pastry out of it, because I'm not really getting a lot of sweetness out of this.
Well, I get like that vanilla cake, like Greg said, sugar cookies kind of thing, and that's what I'm getting on the flavor. It's not.
I guess
like,
I do get some of that. Yeah.
I want to say, okay, maybe I should say pastry inspired. It's not a pastry double IPA. Don't get me wrong.
They make those.
Yeah, that's
Just
I'm not saying that's what it is.
in.
No, it's not a strawberry milkshake IPA.
The nose is the weirdest part of this beer, though. Like, I can't really break it down because it's got a sweet edge to it. It's got a really big citrus edge to it, but then maybe it's the Idaho 7, something funky happening like on the back end that I can't really, I don't know, break down.
I think they kept it measured enough that it's not bothering me. I think it gives it a little bit of a depth to the hop character instead of just being tropical or whatever. It gives it a little bit of a grounding,
Right?
Earthiness, grounded. Anyways, didn't mean to do that, but doing it now.
Just own it, Jason. Just own it.
I think it's a solid beer, and I think it's really well made. I don't detect any sort of off flavors in it.
No, there's no diacetyl, like that was brought up early. There's no diacetyl in this beer. It's a unique beer though. It's interesting.
It doesn't have that like Greg was right with the swamp juice, where it literally like it makes you want to drink more of it. It's almost like it has MSG in it or some shit. Like, you know, when you eat Cheez-Its, where it's just like, I think I need more Cheez-Its.
Totally. It's
I could plow through some Cheez-Its.
Oh man.
I think that's just the MSG.
I
Dude,
like MSG.
It's so funny when you realize that like all that shit about MSG in Chinese food was just racism.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like everything people eat has MSG. Like tomato sauce has more MSG than fucking any Chinese dish ever did. But then they'd be like, the Chinese are putting chemicals in your food. It gives you headaches.
You know, I just went back to the swamp juice, and man, it's almost refreshing compared to this. Like it's a really good beer. Like I would rank this above the Hazy Boys. I mean,
I agree.
Oh, hold on, sorry. I had my headphone off for a second. Wait, are we talking you're ranking the swamp above the Hazy Boys?
yeah.
I was going to say I disagree, but then I realized I can't actually accurately participate in this conversation.
Well, again, I think the swamp juice is very much like me and Tim were saying, like screwdriver mimosa-y, like breakfast juice kind of thing. And the Hazy Boys feels more like an IPA proper. The booze seems to come through a little harder in the Hazy Boys, even though it's less. It's 8.2 and it does come off a little more boozy to me. Like it kind of lingers on the palate hot, but I think it's a solid beer.
Yeah.
Also, I like the label on this better. It's just like I assume the brewers from the different breweries all kind of posing and hanging out, throwing up the west side. That's fun.
Love it. What's side?
what were you gonna say, Tim?
I was just gonna say I tend to like rank things in how many like would I go back for a second, and obviously once again I cannot. I keep wanting to chime in, and I'm like, wait a second, you are not part of this accurate conversation here. But I would definitely, if I were out at a brewery, whatever that actually feels like, I would probably go back for more of the Hazy Boys.
Yeah, no, I really like this one. It's interesting. I don't think it's uncommon that we have a beer that kind of splits the room like this.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
That shows how they're both really good beers, and preferences will be preferences. So
I've got high expectations for the next beer. Because I fucking love North Park Brewery.
North Park?
Yeah, North Park.
Wait, hold on. North Park.
Clockwork Intelligence.
Oh god, I thought that was the brewery. I was like, shit, did I put the wrong one in? There we go. Okay, I'm good.
It's a double dry hopped hazy IPA. It was a really good idea to do all 8% and higher beers for this show. Double dry hopped with Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy. Oh fuck.
Yeah, like we said, this is Clockwork Intelligence from North Park Beer Company. This was the number 2 Hazy Double IPA in the competition.
Whoa.
Apparently,
this one pours nice and like pineapple juice white.
Yeah, it's very wit beer looking.
I mean, God, this one actually gave a little bit of head on there.
yeah,
My last two
mine
didn't
too.
quite stick as much.
Oh yeah, this looks like if you handed me this glass and told me it was a Hoegaarden, it's getting blown out by my camera. But if you told me this was a Hoegaarden, I would be like, "Yep,
Exactly."
Looks like lemon meringue pie, dude.
Like this looks like a Belgian wit, 100%. Just in the view.
Would you expect anything less from Kelsey McNair? I mean, come on.
Air McNair bed.
All right, let's get some details on Clockwork Intelligence. Let's see here. It says tastes like, well, that's up to us. and artificial intelligence. So they list like every fruit and then artificial intelligence. So.
That's a good question. How long? I'm sure somebody's done this at this point, but how long until we have like
AI breaking down beers?
Well, yeah, like AI
Mass spectrometer
version of like data engineered science beer styles where that like break it all down.
Oh,
what
dude.
I want is a robot that'll just tell me what the beer tasted like, so then I can imagine it, and then I'll be good.
Sierra Nevada's lab has a machine where they can put a sample in, and it'll tell you every single compound and what if like actual like ashtray, or like it breaks it down into individual components, and then as far as like percentages for each. So
it'd be cool if you could like load profiles for like new Haze Bros or old school like West Coast IPA like dudes and people that don't know anything about beer, so you can like judge it accordingly to all those different, palates. I'm kind of trying to make a joke, but at the same time, it would be cool if you could do that.
Just turn it into baby palate mode, so it's always like needs more sweetness.
Mm-hmm. There's just infinite glass that you pour it in, and the glass like breaks it down. And it's like, this beer tastes like milkshake, strawberries.
You don't even have to drink it.
Banana.
Just pour it in the glass and let the glass tell you what it's like, and then dump it out. There you go.
Yeah.
Just boof it.
You can lose weight that way.
Just boof it.
Keep the calories off. This beer smells great. John, I'm super jealous of John with your Topo Chico right now. That is
good call,
I love
right?
that shit. Yeah.
Dude, it's so carbonated that it's scrubbing the previous beer off of my palate. It's great. It's warm, and having it warm makes it even more effervescent. It's perfect.
I have fizzy water too, but mine's homemade. I just have a Soda Stream.
Which one did you get?
The Soda Stream, I got the $20 more one that automatically pushes the button for you instead of you pushing the button 5 times.
Yvonne wants the one where you push the button on your own, so that's what she got. Yeah, hers just broke. Her one from 6 years ago, so she got her money's worth out of that one.
I did find a company that does like they send you like a pre-labeled shipper with, so they'll send you 2 Soda Stream thingies, and then you put your old ones in it and send it back. Yeah, and so it's only like $20 a canister, which is still high, knowing what it costs. Like filling my 10-pound CO2 tank for homebrew is like $18. But
yeah,
she's been on soda.
She's been going to Bed Bath & Beyond to do exchanges, and I don't think, didn't they go out of business, or am I?
Bed Bath & Beyond? No, I'm pretty sure they're around.
Okay, well, they were closed for COVID or something, and she was kind of stranded for a little bit, and she figured something out. But
check out SodaSense if you need to. That's
SodaSense.com for all your CO2 needs for your.
Use the promo code 4B and get 10%. No, we get fuck all.
You get nothing.
Apparently, Target does trade-ins on CO2 canisters as well, according to Jeff in the chat.
Good to know.
And
all
Aldi has
back
Topo
to
Chico for good
Clockwork
prices.
Intelligence from North Park Beer Company. What do we think?
I don't know if
it's
just.
I'm not keen on the nose. I'm not sure why, but there's something about it that's kind of throwing me.
Yeah, for me, the visual kind of makes me want to think of lemon bars or lemon meringue pie, and it's telling my brain to look for lemons, and they're not there. But
yeah, it's got a sweetness to it, that's for sure.
This is 100% I say this all the time, the candy mosaic. And I'm getting a ton of that candy like mosaic out of this beer.
I think this is the best nose so far of the 3 beers we've had. This smells, it's very citrus forward. It doesn't have like a big. Tim's disagreeing, by the way. He's violently shaking his head.
I just feel like my nose is broken, guys. Just.
I think, and again, Tim, is it cold? Cold enough now?
These are surprisingly chill. I'm actually very impressed with how well that worked.
Did you do the paper towel thing?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it in the past, but like for longer, and so like 15 minutes did the trick on these.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's just me. I think it's the best smelling beer of the bunch so far. It's pretty neutral. Everything's kind of balanced. It's a little tropical, little like citrus fruit. You do get a little bit of sweetness coming through on the nose, but for the most part, it just smells like a really delicious beer.
I think overall this beer is a little on the sweet side for me. Like there's like on the last beer you guys were saying you're getting kind of that white cake thing. I'm getting that on this.
Yeah,
where
I am getting that too as well on the flavor.
a lot, and this is a little over to the sweet side. I think this is a really well crafted beer, and I really like the hops in it, but the overall sweetness on the mouth, and I'm guessing that there's a ton of fucking oats or something in it, which is why it's white. It ends up being a little sweeter than I'd like.
It's
maybe
sticky
overhype
sweet.
myself for fucking North Park, but
I'm a fan of like the oats and that stuff in an IPA. It gives a really nice sort of velvety texture. I know Brewery West does a lot of oats, or I think that's what it is, right?
I mean, you can use oats, rolled oats, wheat. There's a number of different things that add that glucan, or am I wrong about like whatever that kind of binder that makes it give it more mouthfeel, and
I think it's one of the reasons that I really enjoy Brewery West's IPAs and their kind of slight hazies, because I'll have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure like they use a lot of oats, or is it spelt?
If you spelt it, you dealt it.
I mean, they have the mash mixer, the mash press mixer that they can use 100% oats if they wanted to. Like,
that's a really good point. They have a whole different approach to beer from a lot of other breweries, because they have that fancy German brew house that literally squeezes everything out of the mash in a good way. I mean, which actually, I think, was it Brewlosophy that did experiments with squeezing like the bag, like when you're doing a mash, because you're not supposed to squeeze the bag.
I'm not going to say anything.
You extract.
Greg's squeezing the
tannins.
bag right now off camera.
I was thinking of boobs.
Anyway,
I'm squeezing the bag. Just give it a little rub.
My experience with Brewery West IPAs has been hit or miss, and I don't think it has anything to do with their technique or quality of beer, like beers, but the ingredients they choose tend to be, I don't know, kind of off-putting for me sometimes with their IPAs. Okay. But I think that's a good thing, because they're kind of experimenting, they're pushing the boundaries, they're figuring out what works, and I'm here for it. But
going back to this beer, I get this tea-like character on the finish. Like like a tea gives you like a sweet tea with some like jasmine character, not jasmine-y, but like a floral, not like dough flower.
Like jasmine, but not jasmine. Like,
I mean, like a white
floral, flowery, but
like dark floral, but light, and then like heavy.
It's a tea-like character,
heavy,
like a tea tannin.
But also light,
heavy but thin.
It's sweet,
it is very
but
sweet,
also
though.
sour.
I'm just like, whew.
Like a Sour Patch Kid.
Like sweet and sour mushrooms.
I mean, I was kind of put off by the nose at first, but I think it opened up. Maybe it was just something to do with the start. Overall, like the flavor is nice. It is definitely on the sweeter scale for what I would like in my personal preference, but it feels very smooth, and I don't know if it's just a pile up of the last two beers, but it almost feels a little mellow. Like it feels pretty. Yeah. It feels pretty like, cool. I'm gonna have one, maybe another one. Like it's cool. It's good.
To me,
it's pretty approachable.
I mean, I hate to say it because I love you, North Park, but this is like the third place of these beers for me.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
After starting with Swamp Juice and then going to the Hazy Boys and then to Clockwork Intelligence, I can see how these judges are skewing as far as their palates are concerned, and I'm kind of concerned about the next beer because they tend to get sweeter as we get further towards the top of the rankings.
But
so
I will say too, I don't know if you said exactly what the next one is, but like this brewery to me has a sweeter, sort of funky, like messing with stuff skew. So we'll see.
Yeah, Revision makes pretty solid beer. So
Yeah.
as good a segue as any. Revision Distance Haze Northeast style double IPA. Got a kind of cool label. It's like a ladder in the middle of a ocean.
It's like a stairway to haze heaven.
Shout out really quick to Lemonade in the chat. You can see my beer here. He asked about best way to cool things. I mean, I took a singular sheet of paper towel, I wrapped it around the can, wet, and I tossed it just like in the back of the freezer right by the air vents for literally 15 minutes, and it's cold. Like
I've done the same thing many times. It's tried and true, and it indeed works.
It's the best method.
I didn't know that trick, so sweet.
Go from warm to really cold in about 20 minutes. So
just make sure you set a timer for it, because I have definitely forgotten, and it is not good.
Yep.
I've ended up with Topo Chico slush that way.
Yep.
So this label, have you guys been to Universal Studios and seen the like water area they have? It's like a backdrop of blue sky, and it's just a big pool of water. If you've ever been on the Universal Studios backlot tour, it is very specific. And what's weird is once you've seen it, you see it everywhere. And I know this is a fucking render or something, so it's not that. But like when you watch movies, you can clearly tell. You're like, oh, that's the Universal Studios thing. I've seen it.
The infinity pool.
Yeah. Like Truman Show has a scene filmed in it.
Right.
They literally, it's just, they have like, think of like a drive-in movie theater, but instead of places to park cars, it's water. Mm-hmm. And then there's a giant backdrop that's probably, 100 feet wide by 100 feet tall of like a painting of blue sky. And then it's just calm water they can go film shit on.
Really
and
magic.
Every fucking movie that does water scenes films there. But it looks like it reminds me of that scene. That I don't know. That's all. It's a really long walk to be like, this label kind of reminds me of a thing I saw in a movie one time.
With a ladder.
I told you. Yeah, but they added a ladder.
Hey, happy birthday to Andy in the chat.
Andy Richter. What's up?
Oh, man, I'm jealous drinking a Pilsner. Like, I'm going to have to...
You got to go cleanse your palate from this crap.
Yeah, my beer fridge is completely dry right now. So outside of the beer for the shows.
Are you kidding me?
I'm completely out of beer right now. Yeah.
How is that? Wow.
I asked Sarah to make a run to Labo because it's right by her work, and she was like, "It's raining. I don't want to." And I was like, "Okay."
Yep. Hold on.
No beer.
Movie reference question for you, Jason. I think you might get this. Did you see Tremors 2?
Yeah, I've seen Tremors 2.
Do you remember the guy?
I've seen Tremors 1.
Remember the gun guy? I can't remember his name. The main guy.
Yeah.
There's a point at which in the movie he's like, "I am completely out of ammo."
Yeah,
this has never happened to me before. That's it. I picture you right now.
That is you don't know how perfect that reference is for me. Thank you. I fucking love that movie. I've seen that movie like 40 times for no reason.
I rented it,
but
I rented it on VHS from the movie store as a kid, like a dozen times.
I grew up watching like HBO and shit all the time. And the weird thing with cable is the part 1 of every movie is more expensive to license than the part 2.
Yeah.
So the like sequels are on all the time. Like Wayne's World 2 was on 100 times more than Wayne's World 1. Or like Young Guns 2 is on way more than Young Guns 1. And so you see the sequels all the time. And I saw Tremors 2 100 times, and I've seen Tremors 1 like once.
Oh man. That's fine. Did you go any further than that? Because there was like a 3, and I don't know if they went beyond that.
They did, and the only guy they keep getting is that guy. The gun guy's the only guy that comes back. Like Kevin Bacon fucked off after the first one.
That's the best. I picture you having that breakdown, and it's great.
That is me right now with having no beer, no drinking beer in the house. I mean, I have a shelf with probably $5,000 worth of
he's
beer.
got sitting beer and looking beer, but no drinking beer.
Well, Jason,
Oh
I
my
just
God,
ordered
dude.
16 double dry hopped Pliny's yesterday, so maybe I'll stop by with a 4-pack for you.
shit.
Damn.
Throw that in there.
I'm on
Damn, son.
vacation this week, so I need some beer.
Well, I'll stop by once it arrives at my home.
That's right.
So, getting back to Distance Haze from Revision Brewing Company, this is an 8.0% alcohol by volume beer, 40 IBU according to Untapped, and this is the description of the beer on Untapped. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of dank, I will fear no haze, for hops art with me. Thy flavor and thy aroma, they comfort me. A vision in the distance, an orange groove, a hop farm. It sure smells good. Saints and sinners are all welcome to the soul-shaken shakedown party.
Okay.
I
you
enjoyed
go.
it. You know what? For all the weird shit we read off the side of a beer can, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was nice.
Or I'm just fucking triple IPA drunk.
Your fourth show.
That's the Lord's Prayer, right? Yea,
Yeah,
though I walk
it's-
through the valley
yeah.
of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Welcome to Sunday service with 4
When
brewers.
when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left.
I take a look at my wife and realize she's pretty plain.
Even my mama thinks that my mind is gone.
That's great.
Even Ezekiel thinks. Come on, get the
Tim,
Weird Al
Tim doing
version going
Amish
here.
Paradise, yeah.
Yeah, we got all three going on.
There's layers to the 4 brewers. That's why there's 4 of us.
We're like
Greg's
onions.
I don't know what any of this shit you guys are talking about.
I don't know.
Greg's
I'm
the
like,
most
is that
professional.
Pulp Fiction?
No.
It's a song, Greg.
Oh, okay.
Gangster's Paradise by
What movie was
Coolio.
that with? That was with
You were
that was-
35 when that came out.
wasn't that with
I know.
the like
I've heard it.
the teacher?
I know the lyrics.
teacher wasn't that used in the movie with like the teacher trying to teach inner city
Yeah,
kids
Dangerous Minds with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a white savior. I'm gonna reach these kids.
Nope.
She had a leather jacket. That's how you knew she was a cool teacher.
And
All
she's
right.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Well, I'm at 4th show. I don't know about you guys. Again, I've had 10% IPAs on an empty stomach. So
These
Yeah,
are
I'm
some
like,
big beers.
woo.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you on the empty stomach club.
Well, one thing I will say about these 4 beers is I think hazy IPAs have definitely matured, and breweries have come to create and put their own stamp on the style. Like all these beers are totally different.
Yeah.
Whereas like when we first started drinking hazy IPAs a couple years ago or 3 years ago, dude, they all tasted exactly the same. Like if you put down 6 beers blind, I wouldn't be able to tell a single one apart. But these are all totally different.
Yeah.
Totally different bitterness, totally different mouthfeel. Like these all have personality, and I have a new appreciation for the style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this beer
think
from Revision, this is the #1 Hazy Double IPA, and I think this is, I was afraid that what we were seeing with Swamp Juice, the Hazy Boys, and Clockwork Intelligence were that the judges were going towards like a sweeter style of Hazy Double, and this just kind of took a turn where it's more of a West Coast vibe.
Yep.
It's got a nice
Dank.
balance. It's the best of both worlds, I think.
This is the most balanced beer of the bunch. As balanced as you can be, being a crazy overhopped double IPA.
Yeah.
But this is the #1. Like they were right on this beer. This is just super drinkable. It's got a good aroma. It's got a good hop flavor. Again, I think it was a West Coast. The hop flavor would be a little brighter, but for a hazy, it doesn't have any of the pitfalls of the hazy. It doesn't go down that sweet road.
Yeah.
It's a pretty dry beer, but it's got a good mouthfeel. It does have that softness on your palate. Really fucking solid beer.
Yeah, for sure.
To a couple points to what Greg said back, when hazies were just hitting. It was like, which one of these looks the most like orange juice? Which one looks like orange colored milk?
Yeah.
Like, it was just like this thick, like
learning
painted in
process.
glass. And like now I feel like there's almost you could just make a hue rainbow of the different things that we did here. And they're all, it's just, instead of trying to follow this hype train, people are like backing off and trying to incorporate other aspects. So you start to get that like hazy mixed with West Coast, mixed with somebody's just signature
Which I
spin.
appreciate.
Exactly.
It's a matter of
And-
time and progress, right? Like,
Yeah.
you want to make the best beer you can that lets people know where you're coming from, but is also it appeals to the mass market.
Yeah.
And it's good. And this beer from Revision, I think, is that beer. This is peak hazy, I think. This is I don't know, as far as like smaller craft breweries go, this is what they should strive to make, in my opinion. This is really, really good. But then you got beers like, hazy little thing from Sierra Nevada that are good, but on a much bigger scale.
Yeah,
like
they're
much
trying to
bigger.
appeal to take the hazy and appeal to a much larger audience.
The bigger the brewery, the worse the hazy.
Yeah, and that's fair. I don't know
That's
that it's
accurate.
It's
That's a
maybe
fair
You can put a
benchmark.
graph that has a crossing thing of like brewery size versus quality of
I've
haze.
never had a good hazy IPA from like any of the big macros or the big regionals. Like,
You don't like hazy little thing from Sierra Nevada?
no,
I mean, I don't hate
I don't.
it, but
I Mind Haze is
okay.
like the worst IPA Firestone makes. Like,
What?
fucking-
It's like a 3, dude.
No.
It's like a 3.5.
it's a last resort
It's okay.
because there's no good Firestone IPA on the shelf. So I guess I'll buy Mind Haze.
I disagree. I think Mind Haze is really good. I have 2 Mind Haze
Mind
cans in my
Haze.
fridge right now. So,
Stone's hazies are all trash. Like,
yes.
yeah.
the Voodoo Ranger hazies are fucking
Marv.
shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
they're hit or miss.
Well, I mean, it's just
miss.
it makes you gotta look at it obviously from the size and the perspective. Like, I
Yes.
feel like that's to be expected because you have to hit a broader audience if you're larger because of just the overhead and everything. And I mean, you could go into the whole economic side of it, but to what you want in our palettes of the fact that we are all super nerds here, I totally understand where you're coming from, Jason. And I just, as far as this revision goes, just as like an aside, like we open 4 to 5 beers per show, right? And there's no way, and I know it's sacrilege, that I can finish 4 to 5 beers in a day. And I usually pick one, and that's gonna be like the finisher. And this revision is definitely qualifying as like the not gonna pour this out
You're
and
here.
finish it.
Same. Yeah. This is the best of the bunch. It deserves number 1 totally.
And Revision in general is it was the dude from what was the brewery that he split off from?
Oh man.
It was Jeremy Warren from, God damn it, why am I blanking on the name
We
of that
should
brewery?
know this. We are bad podcasters.
Knee Deep? Yeah, Knee Deep.
Knee deep. Yeah, there you go.
So Jeremy
wait.
Warren from Knee Deep, who still owes me a fucking beer, by the way. If you're listening,
What's
Call
this
out.
story?
way back in the day, I checked into a Knee Deep beer on Untapped. And he responded and he goes, "Oh wow, that's really old. How do you even get one of those?" I'm like, "I got it at Total Wine. Of course, everything there is old." And he's like, "I'll get you." I have this email in front of me. "I'll get a fresh bottle sent the next day we bottle the IPA. Thank you for your support." I'm like, "Cool, okay."
That was 3 years ago.
Never
Okay,
happened.
so you're
This
right.
was 10 years ago. It was in 2012. So
Wow.
he hit me up.
You weren't
on
joking.
Untapped. He hit me up in Untapped and was like, "Hey, how'd you get this beer? I want you to have better beer from us." And I'm like, "Cool. Yeah, here's my info. Send me the beer." And he never did. And then I responded like later and I was like, "Hey, just hitting you back. Like, we can send a beer." And then he ghosted me. So you still owe me a beer, Jeremy Ward, but it's
what the
okay.
fuck, man.
If I see him, he should buy me a beer.
Cool story. Yeah,
Fucking
this
Greg.
beer, man. Like it.
Did
it
you
hit
cool
with the
story,
dank-
bro? Me, Greg.
You did, yeah. I did.
Fourth show Jason is the best. Jason.
I'm like, wee.
Not that I want-
hit
not
you
that
with
I
the
want-
dank?
not that I want to say that drunk Jason is the best Jason, but like this is pretty good.
It's not even 4th show. It's 4th beer, Jason.
Yeah,
beer.
but like
Yeah, but
when
each
you
of
do-
these beers is like a fucking show. They're like 10%, dude.
Yeah, they're pretty big. Yeah.
I'm feeling them for sure.
Greg, what were you going to
But-
say?
I was gonna say it's nice that the nose hits you with the dank and the fruit, and then the palate. It's just very tropical, very easy drinking.
Yep.
The finish is nice. The bitterness is just spot on. Like it sort of crosses the line into West Coast hazy. It's really, really well done.
It's
Good
got
job.
that perfect aspect of like the citrus sort of juiciness that you would want from the East Coast, mixed with the crisp, clear hop bite of the West Coast.
Yep.
I feel like it falls, and I've had several things from Revision, and I feel I don't fully remember all of them, but I feel like there were definitely some hits and some misses for me, and this is for sure. Like it's striking such a perfect balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm really happy with this beer. I can see why it took number one. Even though the last 3 we tried were skewing more towards the sweet side of hazy IPA. But yeah, this is fantastic beer. I highly recommend it. And I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from Revision because their beers are always pretty much spot on.
Yeah, so on these breweries, I know Revision, I know North Park. You know, we get their beer around here in Distro. They're pretty around, and they're both home run hitters. They make really good beer. And the other two were really cool to experience and really solid beers on their own right. I don't think there's a bad beer in this bunch. But yeah, unfortunately, I would say if I were to rank them, I would go probably Revision, Swamp Juice, Del Cielo, North Park.
Yep.
I would go Revision, Del Cielo, Clockwork, and then the Swamp at the end.
I may switch. I may waffle on Del Cielo and Swamp Juice, but North Park is clearly the loser in this to me. It's
no way. I don't think you should say loser. It's just it's a good beer. It's just not. It's not what I would want from a hazy. That's all. And I think we're kind of split on these things, but it's
Damn it,
towards
John,
the bottom.
John, we can criticize beer. It's literally what we do.
So yeah, the Hazy Boys.
But I just don't want to call it a loser. Like that's pretty harsh.
We're split. Like we on our screen here, we got like the top half. We got like John and Greg on that side, and then me and Jason kind of on the same page here. So
that's right.
Yeah,
I'm
not trying to defend North
Park.
I'm just saying, like,
I like North Parks.
To call them a loser, that's
great.
That's pretty harsh, bro.
If you're looking at this bunch, they're the loser.
I took another sip of the Hazy Boys and was like, oh man, I just can't do it. There's something wrong with the beer that whatever my palate just does not agree with.
That was an odd beer. I still stand by that. And there's one component like
smell the can, like it's just weird vibes popping out of that boy. Like it's just, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Right?
This was the Idaho 7 beer, right? It is.
I think so.
That's the fucking Idaho 7 coming out,
already.
man.
You've made it clear. Like you're not a if we were jury selecting, you would be kicked out first round. Like
Good.
You're not allowed to be here because of your extreme bias.
Like I'm Idaho 7 flexible, where you are anti Idaho 7.
I can't even explain it. Like if my I'm gonna pull a weird reference out. It smells like you pulled like some aluminum foil out of the freezer that had like some sort of like fruit wrapped in it. Like,
and then you smell it.
It's very weird. Like the aroma is just so off-putting.
It is.
For me.
I agree. There's something wrong with the aroma on the Hazy Boys.
It.
Yeah.
That's why I was like D, but it's not D. It's something else. The triple
My
D.
favorites are the Murky Triple from the Swamp Juice from Gilman and the Revision. Like excellent beers.
Gilman.
Greg, you gotta bring that Nagel's number 2 sign up to the camera so we can all see it.
Oh.
Yeah, Greg had a beer brewed at Noble Ale Works. God, 10 years ago, something like that. Like probably 8 years ago. And they made a sign for him. It's called Nagel's number 2.
OC Beer Blog, second anniversary.
Oh, damn. 12.5.
So I worked with
awesome.
So Evan Price on this, and they had a beer that was in barrels. It was called the Muck, something like the Muck Muck or something like that. And then so we pulled off a keg of it and then added I helped Evan toast a bunch of coconut. So we made like a little coconut stout and then had that for sale at the party. It was great.
Does Noble still use that kind of signage?
No. They have like
Vito joined them and they changed all that. Now it looks like sort of like I don't know. It's
Kind
just
of like
weird, like Vegas
where
style.
where you have like a marquee with letters where you slide them into like
I
a
like
track
those.
kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's what it looks like. Yeah, like old school marquee.
It
movie
looks like
theater
Caesar's
kind of thing.
Palace now.
Do they get pager reception?
Probably.
Did they ever fucking expand their tasting room?
I haven't been back, so I don't know. They've been
Yeah.
open indoors.
I saw those plans for their tasting room like 5 years ago that were like, we're gonna make it way bigger. I was like, oh, this is gonna be sick. And I don't know.
I have no idea. I mean, they got a new
Did they
brew
ever do
house.
it?
They have a new brew house, and I don't know. It's been so long since I've been there. I'm not sure.
It's been a while.
You said
Been a while.
Oh, God. You said Noble, and for some reason I was like, oh yeah, I know what that, and I was thinking, oh no, that's Alesmith, because I know Alesmith's tasting room. I haven't been to Noble.
Completely different breweries.
Yeah, no, I know it is. I just
They're 100 miles from each other.
quiet you.
You're like, I'm in LA. Everything's Arizona to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything east of downtown is Arizona.
Outside of California, it's foreign policy. Yeah. Overall, I'm really happy with these beers. I'm looking forward to the clear beer portion of the Bistro Showdown, which is a couple weeks from now.
We're gonna plan on that one properly.
Yeah, all the beers will be cold.
Hey, next
on
week
that.
is Kyle's beers, guys.
That's the 4B guarantee. Yeah, next week is Kyle's beers, and the week after that is the clear beer from.
It's going to be a blind show.
I'll put them in the freezer now.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We thought at first when Kyle gave us these beers, they were 4 of his home brews, but no, they're 4. I guess professional
that he
brews.
removed.
That,
He just delabeled them and then put the labels in a mystery box for us. So
we're
going in blind.
I'm actually really excited for that. Although the extra additional little bottle they sent has like a Shakespearean poison like written all over it.
It's kind of creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
All will
gonna
be
let you guys
revealed
pick
on the
this
next.
first.
The
How's
next
gonna Selena
episode.
us?
We're all gonna just.
Because Selena was killed by the head of her fan club.
Wait, is Kyle trying to kill us?
Maybe. I mean, Selena's fan club head.
Should we do that show? Wait a minute.
I mean, it's questionable, man. Trust me, it's crossed my mind a few times since we've talked.
He spent
about
the last 6 years becoming our friends, only to kill us. That sounds like a thing that could happen.
You ever see the Tenacious D show with Lee? Their super fan Lee. Lee stabs them in the end.
Oh,
He gives them the love knife. Yeah.
Kyle is Lee. Lee is Kyle. Anyway, tune in next week for Kyle's Beers Week.
Tune in next week and
Maybe
see
the
if
week
I
after
find out.
we're still around.
If we die, it'll be our highest rated show ever. We'll get literally dozens of people on Twitch.
And
If you
if you enjoy the show, subscribe to our Patreon.
We'll need it for funeral costs.
All right, let's stop recording.
All right.
I don't know how to end that one, but I'll figure something out.
No, I'll keep it in. That was good. Tune in next week.
Trust me, it's been
Zoom funerals are cheap.
The thought has crossed my mind a few times when we've had homebrewers on the show.
Why would someone kill us? It's really hard to be a serial killer nowadays. What I realize, I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and what I realize is before like 1995, the police would be like, "Hey, anybody see who killed this guy?" And then everyone would be like, "Nah," and they'd be like, "I guess we'll never know." That was like the end of it.
You remind me of oh God, what was Seth Rogen and the Kim Jong-un movie?
The Interview.
Yeah, The Interview. Do you remember there was like the scene where the FBI shows up and they're like, I thought it was like CSI was just like semen everywhere.
Semen everywhere. Oh my God.
Just like
he started his own weed company called Houseplant.
Yep. That's
He's
pretty
like
cool.
super stoked about it too. Like it made me excited for him. Like I don't smoke weed, but if I did, I would smoke his weed.
I mean, it would be like if one of us started a brewery.
bro.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
he's just doing flower, not like vapes and stuff. Otherwise, I would fuck with it.
But I mean, like he's not the. It feels like it's an area where certain celebrities that are kind of in that realm are already going. Because like, I don't know if you guys know who Chelsea Handler is, but she's been working on her own weed company and I'm gonna forget the name. Bell.
Kevin
What's her
Smith.
face?
They have a Jay and
Kristen
Silent
Bell
Bob.
started a CBD company.
Jay and Silent Bob. There are Jay and Silent Bob weed strains that are sold by some company that I forget. And then Last Podcast on the Left is doing their own like branded weed too.
So hot right now.
That's right.
Do some 4B weed. For weed.
4 weeders.
First you'd have to do a weed, John.
I can't smoke weed. If I get
why
hurt,
we can't have a weed because
if I get hurt with my job and I smoked weed like 3 weeks prior, it'll pop up and they'll be like, "Well, time to go to some counseling and some, blah blah blah."
It's been 16 years since I smoked weed.
John, should I buy a practice amp and try to play my guitar again?
I have a practice amp.
Do you?
You're
Do
welcome.
you use it?
I use it as a footrest. Honestly, it's under my desk right now.
I have a bass amp, but I don't play bass. I have an acoustic too. I mean, I think it's on screen. Yeah, it's right there.
That's right. I got mine right here.
I mean, what? How much is it?
Oh.
What is it? Like, what are you looking at?
I was looking around. There's this Black Star one that's really highly rated.
I know nothing about.
I
know nothing about Black Star, so
it's like $60, but it's a little battery powered thing. But it's supposed to be really good.
I wouldn't waste your money on that. Like, you want to get like a decent combo amp. I mean, I'm not hip on what's the cool shit right now. I would talk to Matt Becker about that. But something that is like a 12-inch speaker with a built-in.
That's too much. It's big. I just want something to
You
fucking.
don't want
noodle
12
around.
inches?
12 inches is fine. But if you go too small, then it sounds like tinny and awful. And that's
apparently they're pretty good now.
Nice.
Like
Sweet
what
Fender
Greg's
amp.
showing in the chat right now, that's pretty much what you want to get. Something like that.
If
Something
you don't want it,
that's-
Greg, I'll borrow it.
Got the acoustic.
You're welcome to try it.
One here, too.
It's got lead on it, which is great. So you can just press a button and go like.
Mainly, I found my big muff pedal and I want to play it.
You want a Mesa Boogie half stack? I have that. If you want to borrow
My
it,
other guy.
It's a lot.
you can rock the fucking block.
Yeah, no
this song.
shit.
Play us out.
A Mesa Boogie half stack is fucking like was the dream setup that I would have had fucking 20 years ago. So good hustle there.
Yep, I own it now. Yeah.
I'm just gonna quietly play music in the background.
Is that a Gibson?
Is that that's an
No,
Epiphone?
it's an Epiphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an Epiphone. I'm not cool enough to have a Gibson.
I had a really nice Epiphone.
Are we
Les Paul
pulling out
standard.
guitars? Are we
As soon
gonna
as
do
I
that?
got
You're not invited to this party because you'll win.
As soon as I got money, I bought I got money, which is to say I bought an Epiphone. I bought an Epiphone Les Paul standard, but I barely played guitar. And so I never played it and I sold it like 2 years later.
I
But
did that.
Oh, go ahead, Tim.
I was just say I did that. That was me in high school. Like I had a guitar and I was like, I'm gonna totally be like cool, and then I ended up selling it to somebody else. I've been taking I've been taking actually like Zoom guitar lessons with a dude
Nice.
who does
Sounds
like
cool.
who does
How much is that?
I have to go look it, but I think I was doing like a 5-pack. I think it's like $400.
Oh,
I mean,
all right.
it's a dude who's like done backing guitar for some bands that I really love. So,
But I still have my original, like, it wasn't the first guitar I ever had. I had like a Squier fucking Stratocaster first or whatever. It's a piece of shit. But I have my first guitar that I wanted, a Fender Jagstang.
Yeah, Jags are cool, man. Yeah.
It still has a bunch of ska stickers on it. So
Yeah. My first guitar that I bought when I was 14 or 15 was a PB Predator, and I love that guitar. It was a white. It's a Fender Strat ripoff, but It was a white body with a black pick guard. I left it in the
Nice.
back of my truck after coming home from band practice in 2004 when I lived in an apartment complex, and it was stolen. And it's worth. I paid $100 for it. It's worth nothing, but the sentimental value. I was so upset. Like I'm like, I'm so stupid. Because when I was in my band, like we'd end practice in Burbank at 10 o'clock, and I'd have to drive an hour and a half home. And so I get home and just like I that one night I forgot and I didn't pull it out. So
My first
It
was
sucked.
I had a red Strat. It was a red with white pick guard. Yeah, in high school. But like I roomed with a guy who was like a music composer and also in some bands, and so he had a whole bunch of stuff, and he had this super sweet hollow body Gibson electric, and I just like I wanted it so bad.
nice. I have a hollow body electric that my grandpa gave me that he bought at Sears. It's a piece of shit, but it still has the original flat wound strings on it. And
That's amazing.
I used it for a remake of one of Better Luck Next Time songs. And then Lil Peep hit us up, his management company, to use it as a sample in one of his songs right before he died.
Little peep.
And we approved it. Jason knows how important that is and how cool that is. You guys maybe not so much, but like, and we did. I remember our singer hit me up. He's like, "This guy Little Peep wants to use our song like for a sample," and I'm like, "Okay, fine. Like, who cares?" And then like a year later, he died. But that guitar was used on that song that I recorded, and then he used that song as a sample. And my grandpa didn't want to give me that guitar because he thought I'd break it.
What a jerk.
So it's got a cool history behind it, and it's like one of my most cherished guitars, but it's worth literally $50. It's
I've still got my dad's. My dad was a musician in the Bay Area in the late '60s and through the '70s, and he was a bass player, and he kept his one like favorite bass, and it's a Gibson EB2, which looks like an ES335 if you're familiar with guitars. It's like a hollow body. It's a hollow body double cutaway Gibson bass. And yeah, it's a 1964 or something EB2, and I still have it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, it was my dad's. It's really important to me, and I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, you should. I had a double cut Les Paul that I ended up selling after I got my Les Paul Studio from a friend of mine, but the double cut Les Paul I had looked very similar to this, except it wasn't hollow body. It was, solid, but that's a
Hollow
cool looking
body.
guitar. What's the paint job on it?
It's like a tobacco sunburst.
Oh, okay. So it's probably like the one I'm looking at right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sunburst base for, okay. That's a cool looking guitar.
Holy shit! I've held on to my Jag Stang long enough that they're actually starting to be worth money again. I'm looking on reverb.com, and there's one selling for $2,100, which is probably nicer than mine, but they were worth like $300, like $400, which is like what I paid for it in the '90s when I looked the last time.
I think my Les Paul is from 99 or something like that. I don't know. I have a Les Paul and I have an SG and then a Fender, an American Fender Strat that I will never give away because it's my favorite guitar.
What did you primarily play when you were actually in a touring band?
Les Paul.
Yeah.
That guitar feels so fucking good. It's so heavy. Oh, it's nice.
It does. Doesn't your back hurt after a while standing up with it?
Nope.
No.
I love playing a Les Paul. It feels so good. Chad from Newfound Glory, that's his like guitar of choice, and I totally get it. It's like it's got a good balance to it, and if you're like moving around and doing stuff, it feels great. Yeah, Les Paul.
Greg, you need to somehow get in this brewery background that you have. You need to get like a hat with straws that just go to the fermenters.
Is that Daisy?
Yeah. This is Bootlegger's original location.
Oh,
Wow. She'd be tiny.
She's like, "Can I take my picture on the brew deck?" I was like, "All right."
But yeah, I have the Kurt Cobain guitar. Apparently now good ones are worth money. The bridge on it sucks ass though. So if I ever really want to play it seriously, I got to figure out how to fix it.
It's a a Fender Jag.
Jag Stang. It's like you chopped a Jaguar and a Mustang in half and you like stuck them together.
Jag Stang.
Let me look at the bridge on this thing. Oh, yeah, it's got the fixed bridge that is like it ramps up to the adjustable tremolo. Okay, yeah.
You adjust it with an Allen wrench and the screws back out. And so the bridge falls eventually as you play it, and it's pretty regularly. And then your strings start buzzing like crazy because the bridge falls.
Because typically you'd only mess with the bridge on this guitar when you're adjusting the intonation. And if it changes on the fly, that sucks. Like you want that to be fixed. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It slides out on its own, and it's a pretty common problem. And then
it looks cool though.
The other funny thing with that guitar is if you see how it's like a really oblong shape.
Yeah.
I had to buy a bass case to hold it because it's just so big. The actual body of the guitar is really big.
Oh yeah.
But the cool thing
bottom, yeah.
But the cool thing with that is it feels really good when you wear it on a strap. Like it holds itself really well because it's got that really heavy bass. It kind of stays up very well compared to other guitars. But
you guys go ahead and keep it out. I got to take off.
That's it.
Cheese, bro.
It's all good. No worries.
Tim.
I'm like, Greg threw that background up and I'm out.
So Greg, Tim, just so you know, next week are the Kyle beers.
Good. They're still in the fridge. I'll put the bistro in and make sure that it's ready to go.
Okay.
Again, I don't know where I read it.
For the confusion, it's not your fault.
Last time I was in our chat, I read Kyle's beers and
yeah, it's my fault.
It's all good. We figured it out.
Have a
Take
good
it easy,
Saturday.
guys. I'll see ya
later, man.
Bye.
So too bad I can't put GIFs as the background.
What the hell? What is it? I make you.
Do
Is
I
that
make you
Austin
want it,
Powers with? Oh,
With
is that Austin Powers as the chick from the witch from Resident
Evil? Yeah, the tall lady with the big titties.
Yeah, she's
things
like
you find on
9'6".
something awful.
Finally, we're talking about gaming. We're Twitch appropriate now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna go to overall good show. Looking forward to the clear beers because these were all pretty great. So.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go drink some mead.
I feel the need for mead.
Yeah, Honeypot's doing a small private opening.
So you're gonna go there.
You should keep your opening private. That's the 4B promise.
It's a soft opening.
Oh, Leninade has a question. Which 4 brewer has the most brew your beer themed shirts? I don't have that many anymore.
Shit, all of mine.
Greg.
Yeah,
Greg's wearing a brewery shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm still fitting this. This is like Firestone Walker.
It's OC Beer Belong.
2015.
I have the same shirt. Yeah.
Hey, have you ever done the OC Beer Bong?
No, what's that?
I mean, you should do a beer bong of like OC Beer, like OC Beer Blog does OC Beer Bong. That YouTube title sells itself.
I need to figure that out.
Have you ever done a beer bong?
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, I went to college once.
I didn't, but I had my college years when I was like 25. I was like, let's do what college people do. And I did beer bongs and beer pong and shit.
I did mini beer bongs at my friend's house in Colton, and I got pretty good at them. I gotta say,
I once beer bonged a 40 of Mickey's.
Yeah, I've done that
and held it down for about 95 seconds.
Oh, I just drank it. Just fucks you up.
It was just whoop, 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 40 ounce. Yeah, it was bad. Bad times.
At one point, I was like the fast chugger of my friend group. American oofing, huh? Oh, Lordy. All right, let's wrap this shit up.
Okay. All that.
I'm going to end the stream while John's gone.
Yeah,
see you later.
Let's do it. Bye.
Cheese, bro.